Our Energy Matters with Anthony, Manna and Dena Marie, and we're getting the party started.
And we're getting the party started for sure. Hello, Dena Marie.
Aloha.
Aloha. So here we are. And I want to welcome our audience, whoever they may be, wherever they may be, to what is a manifestation of our belief in each other in terms of what we can share, depending on, the first thing I show is depending on your book, which is Our Energy Matters, The Art of Crystal Reading, Learn How to Manifest Your Heartfelt Intentions. And also the fact that when we first got together, it was because you interviewed me for my children's book, which is Loukas and the Game of Chance, and found so many spiritual aspects of Loukas's life and his journey and his struggle that enlightened me, the person who wrote the story as well, and so, but you come at it from the crystal reader, you come at it from the chakra expert, and knowing also about what we're going to talk about today, a little bit about the blockages, which I can start right here if you want me to. I mean, I say here in my writing, and we should explain to the audience that what we do when we go back and forth with our illuminations, let's put it that way, that I delve into your book each time. And it's so amazing because this is our session 14. And I'm still so much finding, and I'll talk about that today, so much finding direction, suggestion, recommendation, spiritual illuminations. I probably overused that word. I say here, if you happen upon Dena Marie's luminous treasure trove of spark-tested manifestations of healing, hope, redemptive freedom, her enlightened book, Our Energy Matters, The Art of Crystal Reading, where you can also learn how to manifest your heartfelt intentions, electrified and sanctified, it seems to me, by celestial sent bits and pieces of crystallized revelations, bright, translucent stories, morphed, sparkle clear by her blessed presence, her gained by the fire of having been there, lived there in the energy of recovery through soul search and mind seek. That was probably the longest sentence that anybody ever wrote in the history of English. Dena Marie teaches the art of healing, self-acceptance, self-wonder as she guides your crystal choice, tarot reach, chakra reveal, and earthbound truth telling, like this jolt of wisdom that I found this time around. I kept reading this. I kept reading this quote: "Only as high as I reach can I grow. Only as far as I seek can I go. Only as deep as I look can I see. Only as much as I dream can I be." Or her own confession, wide open, raw honesty in her book. She talks about her journey to self-realization or self-love. She says, "Before I really loved myself, my readings all pointed to me living in the clouds." So I say to you, what did Dena Marie do? Which power pathway did she set off on to explore the ocean of happiness, healthfulness, intentions, aspirations, needs, desires, to save herself? Along the way, she observed smack-face the blockages, devilish impediments that, as she wrote in Our Energy Matters, deflected her from seeking her own self-worth and deservedness, which she reveals is the heart chakra. So, Dena Marie, this is so perfect. I mean, it's so, on one level, it's like so practical and so ordinary, you know what I mean, to learn what you can possibly do. So I say, can you tell our audience what you did to seek deservedness, love, that all-encompassing sense of what we owe ourselves, and the recognition of its connection to the heart chakra?
Well, remember the chakras are blocked. So when they're blocked, other chakras open up. So they compensate. So my lower chakras were blocked. That was my ground. I was not grounded. I didn't feel powerful. If I gave to people, it was 100% for them, 0 for me. And I remember as a child always not getting the piece of pie. I know it sounds crazy, but if there was like 6 pieces and 7 people, I never got a piece. That's just the way whether I was raised that way or it's just who I am. So I lived in my head, which is these chakras, which I love to read books for hours and hours in my room. I talked so much, right? Blah, 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 blah. I overanalyzed. I was insomniac. I couldn't sleep. I was super skinny because I was so detached from my body. And then as I started learning the chakras with my clients, I realized the altar to the higher chakras is your heart. And that's when I came up with the balancing act of giving and receiving. So the first thing I did, and you just helped me remember, is I bought myself flowers. Oh. I was at work and I was at a grocery store and I thought, I'm going to buy myself flowers. And every checker looked at me and said, who are those for? Because, somebody might have died or something. And I said, they're for me. And this is even crazier because everyone's like, that's not, you don't do that, right? And so I took them home and I put them on my fireplace. And then I started making an altar, which now you're reminding me of what I used to do. And then I would buy a bottle of wine every Friday, my flowers, and I'd go home and decorate my house. So I spent time doing what I love, and it benefited me, of course, my house. But it was like just that act of buying myself flowers. And maybe a month later, checkers were buying themselves flowers. I learned how to dance by myself. That's another one. That's the second thing I did. I went out and I didn't expect a man to ask me to dance. I ended up dancing alone for about 10 years. Everyone thought I was with the band. And I think I brought this up. Everyone thought I was with the band, so they never bothered me. And I got an hour of dancing and I went home. So those tiny little things. And then I bought a retreat. When I was married, I got a retreat and went by myself. So you see, those little things started adding up to bigger things. And it's still something I struggle with. But as I entered the heart chakra with self-love, then my world changed, right? The people changed. And then after a while, I kind of forgot to do my chakra doses or prescriptions. And then I became the martyr again. And then I was not getting a piece of pie. So I think the book, as I was writing it, for what a beautiful thing for myself. It's a healing tool for myself through the years. And then to learn Reiki, which is hands-on healing, and it's super beautiful for your heart. It's an unconditional love that I teach people, like hospice workers can do it, massage therapists, nurses. But after I started teaching it, my energy expanded. And when you leave the chiropractor and you feel good, yeah, right? And maybe 3 days later, your back's out again. So the more I practice Reiki and the healing work, the more I felt my heart expand. And so I couldn't get enough of it. And that's why I taught it. So those are the things. And then for you and I, our lower chakras, which is to get out of our heads, exercise, right? Which was also very selfish of me to go exercise every day and take that time. But it benefited me. It got me out of my head, into my physical body, and it helped me tune up my chakras.
Yes, and I think that's so wonderful because in our conversation that we had on the phone before we started doing the video, we talked about choice and the choices that we make. And I was saying that sometimes I feel so plagued by the need to produce, the need to come up with something, even in my old age now, I'm still doing what I was doing, 30 years ago at university, which, was productivity. And I'm haunted by that. And so what I need to do is all right, so where am I in my chakras when I'm doing that?
You're in your head. So it's a misuse of your third eye and your crown chakra and your voice, your throat chakra. And I used to get in bed, sleep not very well, and then wake myself up with all my to-dos. So I think one of my prescriptions was to tell myself to shut up. So in the morning, I made myself sleep in. I made myself stay in bed. I mean, that was, you're reminding me of a horrible time in my life where I could not stop producing. I couldn't stop doing for other people. It was just constant motion. And I remember forcing myself to stay in bed more than, since 5 o'clock in the morning. I would stay in bed. Now I get up at 8.
Yeah.
So I practiced that. And then to be quiet, because when you are thinking too much, remember we said no more thinking.
Yes.
No more thinking.
Oh, that's such I mean, really just turn it off, and the thing is, I'm so thankful to you for reminding me about the waking, because that's when it hits me the most, is when I'm waking and I start doing the gymnastics around, gotta do this, gotta do that, gotta do this, didn't do that, promised myself I've gone, and then just, just shut up. And so what the shut up can do for me was the choice. And I just did that today, as a matter of fact, because I was getting into all of this nonsense in a way. The voices kept repeating to me. What I did instead was I went to the gym that I created here in my own cabin, and lifted weights, did a yoga class, a session, 15 minutes of stretching. And I felt wonderful. And the whole time, I didn't once think about the story I'm working on, which is kind of at a standstill because other things have taken precedence in my life right now, in that I'm helping someone very, very deservedly, help him get through some trauma about the death of his brother. And so that's it. And it's okay, and I just will keep reminding myself about the choices that I can make for health. And so much of the blockages produce bad health, unhealthiness.
All of them do. It's called dis-ease. So when your chakras are spinning and flowing, ease. It's ease. Everything is effortless. But when you have blocks, which I said, if my throat chakra is blocked, then I might talk too much or think too much, right? So if I'm around people I can express myself to, I'm more likely to not think as much. When my throat chakra was closed and my power chakra was closed, I cried over everything because my heart was way too big. So when I exercise and I'm around people I can talk to, then I don't have that. I'm overly attached or emotional. But I didn't know that until I started teaching, the chakras, about the blocks. I know when the overcompensating ones. So by me being a strong, powerful woman, working out every day, being around people I can talk to, I just don't cry as much. But, there's also times when people don't cry, right? Their heart's blocked. So I'll give them the prescription to watch A Wonderful Life or something that will make them cry. Because what a block chakra is really bad for us. That's your health, right? That's the heart attack. That's the firefighter who doesn't talk about what happened after work. That's PTSD. So a lot of firefighters, and I deal with them, die, and soldiers die because this is blocked. It has to be blocked to do what they do all day.
Right.
But if they have a counselor or they take up their music again, or as long as they have some expression or they're writing poetry, I've had a lot of poets, then their heart chakra opens again, and Reiki, massage, hands-on healing. So yeah, but the blocks are usually from time as a child. In my house, you didn't cry, you didn't talk, you tried to be as quiet as you could. So there's my throat chakra. And in the book, as you go on, there's the sun signs. I'm a triple Gemini. Geminis came here to express themselves. So for some reason, I believe I picked my parents to learn how to express myself. But when I lived at home, I had asthma, I had a mono, I had tonsil, I had everything you could have in your throat and your heart. All those things are gone. I don't have asthma anymore. But I told you today, I'm super conscious of who I bring in my life. You, my friend, I can talk to about anything. And we have a really heart-to-heart conversation. I guess it's our therapy, but it's a prescription and it works.
Yeah, absolutely. And so, and then see, the thing that I want to explain to our audience too is that your book, especially in the section prescriptions for the chakras, which is on page 52, and I have it right here in front of me because I went to the section for the fourth chakra, which is connection, which is the heart, is it not?
Fourth, the heart? Yes.
So you said, here are some of your prescriptions, and they're so wonderful. Hold hands, talk about how you feel, buy flowers and date yourself. I thought that was so great. Talk or smile at a stranger. Tell someone you love them. Play a game with your family. Volunteer in your community. Love someone for no reason at all. Get a massage. Look in the mirror and say you love yourself just the way you are. That is, gosh. I love that. Send yourself a Valentine. Learn Reiki, healing touch, that is. Listen to Gregorian chants. Well, I used to sing Gregorian chants because I was in a monastery and I loved it. Thank you for reminding me. Wear pink or green, eat green food and vegetables. It's so, and they're all like that. I mean, I just want to show them that you go down the page, see, and you go through every chakra and you just find, oh, I don't know, just you find goodness and ways to manifest your heartfelt intentions all over the place. It's so beautiful. And so, oh, I don't know, just so enlivening. So what's well, I say that, I'll tell them right now, you want to move closer to Dena Marie's wisdom, then listen to her weekly radio show, Lift Your Spirits. I mean, that's exactly what we're just doing for the last 16 minutes, seconds, is lifting your spirits. It's on 1150 AM KKNW, but you can also find out about Dena Marie if you go to her website, Dena-Marie, lowercase.com. And if you go to my website, you'll see Dena Marie in the media section. That's where I have my interviews with authors and all sorts of people. Then you'll see among those interviews, you'll see my interview with Dena Marie. And also visit my website, because if you like reading and you have children and young adults, there's a lot of information there about choosing books and reading books and learning from books and learning about life, etc.
And that's a prescription. That's a chakra prescription.
There it is.
Yeah.
There it is.
Reading and with children.
Yeah, no, and that's we talked about that in our conversation. The joy of my reading to children has always been totally uplifting, because they just hunger, for hearing story. They love story because they see themselves in story, and
my son said, "Mom, how do you stay so young?" That's what he asked me. And I said, I don't know. And then I said, I hang out with all ages. And I think that's what the storytelling with children, and you're being playful, you were doing some little acting with them, but that's so important. That's really good for your chakras, is to not always be with your age group, right? That stifles our expression, and we need our children to lift our spirits.
Absolutely. That's a great way to end. 20 minutes worth of joy. Thank you so much, and until we meet again, and I think I'd like to carry on with talking about the blockages in even a more consistent way of going through the manifestations of them in your book, which it's all over the place, because you're healing your clients and they come to you with your crystal reading is all about how to break through the blockages and find their healthfulness, etc.
And it's super easy and fun, isn't it?
Yeah, well, yeah. I mean, it's more so than I ever thought. That it's just there are practical solutions to lift you up.
And the beauty of it started as a kid's game. So that's how this is all coming full circle. It started as a kid's game, and I think life should be a little bit more fun and playful. How's that?
Absolutely. Let's go for it. Okay. Until the next time. Thank you so much. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
Bye.